Yes, yes.
No, in the evening.
After the crime was detected in the early hours of the morning, the principal of the hospital tries to pass this off as a suicide.
Not true, not true, not
Her
true.
parents are not. Her parents are not allowed to see the body. The parents are not allowed to see the body for almost.
No, Malad, this is, I'm sorry. Anyway, Malad, this is
Lord,
the
that
impression.
our investigation also
We'll
corrupt.
have to place the facts before your lordships. We have investigated that. This is not correct.
So
Let us read the order.
until late night, we find that no FIR was registered.
That's also not correct. Not correct.
What time was the FIR registered?
Malad, in fact, we did what is called, what we call a UD case, Malad.
UD case.
Unnatural death case registered.
Yes, unnatural death case.
Registered.
But
Immediately.
that's right.
That's an FIR, Malad. That's an FIR.
Not the body is discovered.
UD case.
The FIR registered formally in the police.
Malad's inquest was done and then FIR registered immediately and the investigation started.
What time
It should have been done.
the FIR registered?
12, Malad. 12:30.
Does the FIR say that this is a case of a murder?
No,
Yes, yes.
no, it.
No, my lord, we have
Unnatural
something
death.
else to say.
It was.
We have something.
Unnatural death.
One second.
Inquest shows it's a case of murder,
One
Malad.
second.
Inquest shows it's a case of murder.
Inquest is done. The postmortem is, the autopsy is conducted.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, until the night, no FIR indicating that this is a clear case of a murder has been made out.
It has, Malad. I'm sorry. I'll place those facts before your lordship.
See the
It
order.
has been, Malad.
Lord, may I suggest?
From
my lord, may I
unnatural
suggest-
death, we registered the case
Lord,
for murder.
That
We caught the victim. He is a civic worker, Malad. It's an individual act. I show all that, your lordship.
And that's the first aspect.
Yes.
What was the principal doing? Why did he not, why was this kind of inaction on the part, first, an attempt to pass this off as a suicide instead of a murder?
I'm sorry, Malad. That's not correct.
Not recording, not registering an FIR till late in the evening. Third, the body itself is handed over to the parents sometime in the evening for cremation. Fourth, and that's a matter of very serious concern. On the next day, the doctors, because they were all doctors working with her, the doctors are on protest. A group of persons, a mob assembles at the hospital. The hospital is invaded and the critical facilities are damaged in the morning or whenever the mob enters. What was the police doing?
Yes.
Not
Malad, we have videos for all. Malad, let me first of all state.
Surely, Mr. Sibon,
What-
the police,
Lord,
Malad,
a very serious offense has taken place. The crime scene is within the precincts of the hospital. Now, that is the first thing that the police have to do, namely to protect the crime scene. What are they doing?
Malad,
Nothing.
They allow vandals to enter the hospital. And,
It's impossible that
That's,
7,000 people
first
can
of all,
gather without
of
the
all-
consent.
Please, one second.
allow me.
Lord,
This is-
7,000 people can never gather without knowledge or consent of the.
This is not an adversarial
It's
litigation.
not, therefore, let us not be in denial mode. One girl has lost life
One second.
It's-
by not only, my lord, a sexual pervert, he is an animal.
Principal, after the principal resigns from this medical college,
He sent to another
he's,
hospital.
he's appointed as a principal of another college.
He doesn't resign. But anyway, be that, Malad, let me first.
Conduct, at the least, his conduct is under scrutiny, and he's appointed as a principal somewhere else.
Lord,
This is all, we have a note
Lord,
on
you have-
all this
Lord, let's not
misinformation.
contradict each other. There is a high court order.
What is the reality? Just show it to you.
Let them file the report, not.
But just show it to
Matter
you.
tomorrow.
My lord.
Couple of things which we would
It
like
would
to
be
do.
there.
Well, let's make it very clear.
Yeah.
We would want the investigation has been handed over to the
CBI.
Bureau of Investigation.
Yes, done, yes,
We want CBI to file a status report before this court on Thursday.
correct.
We will take up the case on Thursday. We want CBI to apprise us on the status of the investigation.
Correct.
The investigation obviously must be at a very sensitive stage so that it's something which will be submitted to the court.
To the, for court's
For the principal
consumption, not, my
secondary
lord,
to the
making
case
it
guide.
public.
It's
Yes.
really an investigation update
Yes,
status
yes.
report which will be given to us on Thursday. We will consider the status report on Thursday morning and see
Fair
where
enough.
the investigation is proceeding. Today, what we intend to do is that today we intend to pass an order. What we have done is, and three of us, that's why we were in conversation with each other. We have discussed the pros and cons. We are setting up, under the authority of this court, a national task force. The national task force will consist of a diverse segment of doctors from different parts of the country. We want them to make us recommendations in regard to the modalities to be followed across India. We're not only talking of the RG Kar Medical College and Hospital, but modalities to be followed all over the country for ensuring safety at the workplace first and foremost, for which our young doctors, our the middle level doctors, the senior doctors are all today on protest and on strike. At the same time, we would, now that we are taking charge of these proceedings, we are appointing a national task force. It's our earnest request to doctors all over the country who have struck work. There are institutions where I know appointments are taken 2 years in advance. For instance, the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Appointments are taken 2 years in advance. If patients lose their slot, they go back by another 2 years. So we would really earnestly appeal to all the doctors that we are here to ensure that their safety and protection is a matter of the highest national concern. And therefore, this is something which we would earnestly appeal to all the young doctors that this is something, please trust us. That's why we have not left it to just the High Court. The High Court, of course, consists of very seasoned judges. The Chief Justice was monitoring the investigation by the CBI, but we felt that this is now not a matter of a particular offense, however serious and horrendous the offense is, but something which affects the institution of healthcare pan-India. Therefore, the need for the Supreme
Mulaz,
Court.
we welcome this. I think this must be done, Mulaz. All of us must be very positive. But Mulaz, I have only one request. Mulaz, I have only one request. Yeah, sorry.
Lord, I need, my lord, 5 minutes on this, my lord.
That's what I said. Yes,
Who is the first informant? We were talking about the first information.
yes.
Who is that first informant? Can you name us, please?
Name him.
Who is the first informant
we
who
just-
lodged the FIR?
The one, I just find out, Mulaz.
And we would also like to know the time of the registration of the
The
FIR.
father of the victim.
Wait a minute, please don't
Please don't-
interfere.
Yeah.
Don't interfere.
The
please.
first UD case was done by the police on its own.
So that is not an FIR. What is section 174 of the old CRPC today? Can anyone assist us, please?
Yes, what's?
So that's just a report.
Yes, to start the investigation.
Then who lodged the FIR?
183.
First, the father of the deceased.
Yes.
Then
And
the
then
vice
vice
principal of the hospital. First, the father of the deceased, the vice principal of the hospital.
No, there cannot be two FIRs.
No, but both complaints were sent to us.
No.
Both complaints sent to us.
Tell us whose complaint is treated as,
Father of the deceased.
this is registered at what time?
11:45 p.m.
11:45?
PM.
And now,
Next day, next day.
Yes.
The night. The night, Mulaz.
The night.
In the night. In the night, Mulaz. In the
Now,
night.
when is the body, one second, when is the body handed over to the parents for cremation?
Mulaz, kindly have this
Just
note
tell
that I've
us,
given.
what
Just
time is the body handed over to the parents for cremation? One second.
Around 3:30.
8:30, 10.
No.
Therefore, one thing is very clear. The body is handed over to the parents for cremation at 8:30 p.m. The FIR is registered at 11:45 p.m. 3 hours and 15 minutes after the body is handed over to the parents for cremation.
Mulaz, they refused to file. Mulaz, this is the problem. We handed it over. They filed the FIR. They made the complaint at 11:45. They say, we are in shock. Please do whatever you want to do. They wanted a postmortem. We did the postmortem. All is videographed. Everything is videographed.
The autopsy and the postmortem take place.
Between 1:45 to 4 p.m.
Now, between 1:45 and 4 p.m., the autopsy takes place, followed by the
My lord, the
postmortem.
autopsy took place at 6 o'clock, not at,
Fair enough. That's all right. We'll take it as one between 1 and 4 o'clock. It doesn't take place in 1 minute. It takes
that was
time.
when,
Videograph.
1 second. Don't keep on interrupting.
They wanted
So
a board. We
are- are
constituted a
proceeding-
board.
We are proceeding on the basis of Mr. Sibal's hypothesis that the autopsy and the postmortem take place between 1 and 4:45 in the afternoon. Now,
Lordship, there is-
notwithstanding this, clearly,
Lordship,
the autopsy would reveal that this is a case where a doctor has been murdered, where she has been murdered.
Yeah.
The FIR is registered at 11:45 in the night, Mr. Sibal.
Yeah,
And who was expected to
yeah.
Nobody in the hospital registers the FIR. The father registers the What was the principal or the vice principal? What were the authorities of the hospital doing?
They wanted a board, we constituted a board, they wanted a magistrate, we got the
You
magistrate.
don't need
They
that
realized
time
that
for
murder has
registration
been
of
committed
FIR.
in the history of
You don't need a medical board
Yeah,
for
they are-
registration of FIR.
At the moment, Mellas, what are we considering? We are considering, Mellas, two or three things, as your lordship has put to me.
Not done.
How did these photographs reach the social media?
No, that's
I'll mention all this, how did these photographs reach the media? We have nothing to do with it.
No, let
because
us
we
not
followed out
trivialize, my lord.
everything. People there took photographs, came in, took photographs and sent it. Number two, Mellas, number two, immediately, Mellas, immediately an unnatural death case, Mellas, was started and an investigation was started. Your lordships may be right, Mellas, why did it happen? But whatever the parents were doing, we were agreeing with that. We set up a board. We asked the magistrate to come, but a judicial magistrate to be present. Everything was videographed. Everything was called.
Mr. Sibal, it is the
Application
obligation
was
of
made
the
before the
authorities
Sialda
of the hospital. The parents are not present in the hospital when the murder takes place.
Yes.
It's the obligation of the authorities of the hospital to register an FIR the moment they
2:45
realize.
it was done. 2:45 done. The letter was sent.
11:45 in the
No, 2:45 letter was sent. Assistant superintendent sent a letter at 2:45 minutes. It is not 11:30, at 2:45 itself, we'll set out all this, Malaj. It's better we set it.
What we,
Lordships may give me 5 minutes, my lord,
Yes.
to further, my lord, to assist your lordships. My lord, first of all, Lord, let us not trivialize on this side, my lord, we are dealing with one incident, but your lordships are rightly looking at a larger picture. But we are dealing with, my lord, a young doctor, not only raped by a sexual pervert or perverts, but who was an animal-like instinct, who had an animal-like instinct, the way, my lord, the body was handled. Thereafter, my lord, I don't wish, my lord, to make this a political issue. I would request the state also not to be in a denial mode. 3 hours of the patient, parents waiting, my lord, is something we can experience if we put ourselves in that position. Now, my lord, so far as the safety is concerned, my lord, one thing I must bring to your lordship's notice. My lord, the doctors are genuinely, my lord, have a grievance. They are, my lord, they've lost one of their colleagues, my lord, globally. But, my lord, out of, my lord, all states, 23 states have legislations dealing with, my lord, what is called for, my lord, Kerala, my lord, so-and-so Medicare service persons and medical service institutions, prevention of violence and damage or loss to the property act. There are, my lord, I'll give, my lord, the list of acts. My lord, this also the National Task Force, my lord, can
The punishment which is provided under.
it's
the
a cognizable, my lord,
is
and
3 years.
3 years.
yes, my lord. It's cognizable, non-bailable, and punishment is 3 years. My lord, this is first. I'll, my lord, place it. The National Task Force, my lord, which our lordships contemplate, can, my lord, go into this, can even make suggestions, and it should be welcome, my lord. My lord, second thing, my lord, which is worrying us is this. My lord, even in a well-organized function, if we want the presence of 500 people in an auditorium, we all know we have to make efforts. 7,000 people at the middle of the night armed with lathis and hockeys, my lord, can never be without the knowledge, if not consent, of the police force. It's complete failure of law and order, my lord, in the entire state.
What time did the vandalization of the hospital take place?
My lord, midnight. It's at midnight, my lord.
I thought my
7,000
learned
people-
friend, he doesn't want to politicize the matter, Malaj. Why is he saying all this?
Now,
Let's-
why this is, my lord, important.
We should be called upon. We'll tell you what happened.
Mr. Solicitor, what we'll do is that we'll.
One more aspect,
One.
one more aspect. Lord, and my lord, again, my learned friend may feel that this is, my lord, but this is directly related to the issue in question. Lord, the West Bengal has an in-charge DIG.
In
My lord,
charge?
in-charge DIG, Director General of Police, who is already being charged and being, my lord, considered by your lordships for having fabricated or otherwise dealt with the evidence in Sharda scam case. My lord, your lordship's
Calcutta
direction
police
in
doesn't come under
Pratham
DGP.
Mr.
Calcutta police doesn't come under DGP. Why are you saying all this?
What this has to do
Lord,
then.
is
Director
Kolkata
General
police.
of Police
This has nothing
is
to
an
do with
in-charge
What is all
DGP.
this?
Charge
Lord,
of-
let someone else be the
This is
in-charge.
what is happening.
Let them choose. but not the man who is already
This is
accused
the
of
kind of
having.
misinformation we are having, my lord.
And
This is nothing to do, this is a
Thing to do.
only a minute.
Malad, I have only one small request.
Another
What
minute.
what do you propose to do about the principle?
Whatever your lordship says, we'll do, Malad.
As a
Malad, whatever your lordship says, we will do. There's no issue. SIT is constituted.
state, you must.
SIT is constituted, but whatever your lordships will say, we will do. We are not, Malad, this is not adversarial, as I said. Malad, just give me, just 1 minute. I just handed over something to your lordship. Just have a look at it, Malad.
Depends on
Just
the.
give it to
Can I
my lord.
only con-
3
can I
copies
only
that I
con-
hand.
All right, Mr. Sibal, we'll just hear the solicitor for a minute. He just wants a minute.
All
and then we-
Lord, I just, my lord, I want this, my lord.
Your lordship,
Lord,
may I
an
just submit?
in-charge
something?
DG who is already a tainted officer in an affidavit filed before this court should be replaced by any other in-charge DG of their choice.
Malad, just have this.
So Another,
We have
another one.
we have set out what is in the media and we have set out the reality.
No, share it with
For-
all of us.
We will share it, don't worry.
No, no, no.
Kolkata police informed the family members that the present case
No,
was
they
a
are
case
in
of
a denial
suicide.
mode.
False.
No, Another,
False.
another aspect.
At
Do
no
not
time did
discuss
the
police
police give this
judgment.
information.
Presently, what we propose to do is this. We'll indicate what the broad parameters of our intervention in this matter consists of. We'll just pronounce it very shortly. For one thing, Mr. Sibal, we are very, very concerned. Let not the power of the state of West Bengal be unleashed on peaceful protesters.
Malad, I give to your,
Lord,
we have
why-
videos of
Without
all
protest,
that
it is
happened.
unleashed.
People, whether they are doctors, civil society, lawyers, people who are protesting, so long as there's no act of destruction of.
We have videos. We agree,
Let there not be the power of the state unleashed. on
agree.
Peaceful protest.
Malad, I agree, and that has not
No,
happened.
no.
1 second. We have videos which we have placed, which we'll place before your lordship.
Likewise,
And Malad, what happens is political parties get into the act and this is what happens.
People who are taking to the media to communicate their views.
Yes.
Let us deal with them with a great deal of.
I agree, I
civility. It's a time of national catharsis because
Look at the girl, don't
Lost
be in
India.
denial.
Malad,
mode.
now, for example, they say pelvic and collarbone was broken. False. Postmortem doesn't say that.
not
Lordship,
going to
state
fight.
and the center, they'll keep arguing.
CBI,
Fair.
CBI is investigating it.
Yes.
We will ask for a report from the CBI. Now, what we propose to
I
do
just-
is, 1 second,
Sorry. Just one second.
this must stop. We are in charge of the proceeding. We have heard Mr. Solicitor, we have heard Mr. Sibal. If we start hearing all the interveners, there'll be no end to it.
Lordship,
Please have some patience.